Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You tuned in to Floridian Rollo. I'm your host, Floridian Rollo. Salute to Ringo TV Reactions. He will be on in a few hours. Salute to him. Happy Reborn Day to Ringo TV Reactions and the fam, his fam. That's full supporter of him, you know, and the people that rock with his platform over the years. Salute to Big Bro. Looking forward to seeing him on later on. I just saw his post. So let me say this. There are openings available. What does that mean? The Most High has availability for you to come right on in so that he can put you in a situation such as there were before. The issue with many people is that they want to come in with sin. You can't come in with sin. You have to have that watchable moment and be purified to come to the availability of greatness. And it's great to see Ringo, Brainwaves, Ella Karatasar, Mr. Rufus, and a few other people, and some of you ladies that are going to see thriving availability awaits you as long as you do what you're supposed to do. How you doing, Mrs. Marilyn Edwards? Tell Mr. Edwards I say hello out there in the great state of Texas. Right now, temperature is 70 degrees out here in Orlando. And I want to thank each and every one of you for always coming through when you can. Oftentimes, we was taught in life that there's no availability to us in this world. We've been lied to. We've been lied to about a lot of things. And some of you starting to see yourself what the lies are and what the real truth is. And so when it comes to relationships, I call it ships. It's all types of ships, right? You're going to have different type of availability to you. And there's a lot of opportunities for those who really want it in the South. It don't have to be Florida, the deep South. It could be Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Oklahoma. The list goes on. This opportunities awaits you in these particular places as a man, as a woman, and for your family. And I can tell you that the Lord is making strides down here for many of you, for people down here. Real talk. Real talk. My other phone is chirping, so let me see what it is. Let me see what's going on. Hold on one second. Let me look for it. I gotta try to find it. It's somewhere around, lingering around here somewhere. Are you kidding me? I can't find it. That's interesting. I can't find my phone. There it is. That stuff linking around. I think I got a message on Instagram. Shout out to you, Mrs. Marilyn Edwards and Mr. Edwards. Thank you for the support once again on the Cash App. I think that's the message I got. Yes, thank you, Mrs. Marilyn Edwards, for the support on the Cash App. So I'm telling you that the availability of opportunities for us is so ready. And I'm just so glad that I am where I need to be. The openness that the Most High have shown me, and to show my supporters, behind the scenes what's going on. I want to thank you sincerely. I couldn't do it without you guys and ladies. I couldn't do it without y'all. Y'all made this really happen. And many of you really care because you care about your situation too, and rightfully so. And I care to see y'all win. I care to see y'all healthy. I care to see y'all get along with each other. For those who really want to get along with each other. You don't realize how much y'all mean to me. Y'all my extended family. You are. Because there be times, everybody go through a situation. Some of y'all go to certain situations, and all I can tell you is that give praise to the Most High that you can get up this day and get it correct, get it right. We at a point of our life that, we're supposed to be looking for greatness within the people we around as well as ourselves. And more importantly, having that great relationship with the Lord. And so thank y'all. Thank y'all for rooting for me down here. And I'm rooting for y'all wherever you're at in this country or in the world. I'm really rooting for you as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do. You shouldn't have an issue where you at as long as you do what you're supposed to do. And so all I can tell you is that I'm so glad to see Ringo and his family in the South in North Carolina, as we call it, North Kakalaki, and that they thriving. Mrs. Marilyn, Mr. Marilyn, y'all always been thriving for a long time out there in the great, nice, great success of Texas. I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to go back, and I can't wait to visit other parts of Texas too, by the way, because I know there's so many things I'm looking forward to seeing. And the reason why I'm tongue-tied is because Texas is huge. It's huge. This is a huge state. Everything's big. Everything is big in Texas. When they say everything's big in Texas, it's so true. Everything is dispersed out. So it's like, okay, if you go there, you don't get your just due for a couple of days or 3-4 days. You gotta at least get a weekend, just to get more ounces of catching up on a few things. I check your part of Texas out, Mr. and Mrs. Marilyn Edwards, and I love it. I love the scenery. It could be cold. It could be a little bit warm. I'm okay with that. Now, the nighttime temperatures kind of drop. So I might have to get me one of those jackets, so to say, for the nighttime. And I need to definitely check it out. I did my homework and research on the place you stay at, and I love the environment. The foodie, now becoming a foodie now. Texas has some interesting food. It's very cultural. And so I will admit that, I just got to get used to the weather. It's too dry, and you have no humidity for the most part, except if you go to Houston, that is the city. There's exceptions. It's just when you Out in North Texas, it's a lot more drier, a lot more rain and storms. And so those are the things I look into, and I know that we're in that time of season. So, however, the Most High have a way to where when I go, it may rain, may not rain. The point is, I want to be there to see the greatness of that state. There's a lot of talent in Texas too. It is, and I was glad and grateful the Most High allowed me to link up with Selena and Michael Jones and her husband, and they're doing great things. And so it's just a lot of stuff going on around this summertime. Summertime. We're in spring still, by the way. And so y'all have welcomed me with great opportunities and great opportunities for y'all too. And so I want to say to the people that really rock with the platform, the opening availability is still there for many of you to get that chance to come in. What I mean by that is that you should really, really, really consider it. Consider the fact that the Most High put it in me to talk about this. Give people a chance to show their work, their skill set, their opportunities. Because we're getting closer to the time that the door is closing and it will be closed permanently. And so I want to say to those who really want to have that conversation with me, you have to be serious about what you're doing, and then we can have a conversation about different things, whatever that may be. That's how I move. And right now I got so much stuff going on. I got to pack up a lot of things, in particular, just for this show that I'm going to do for my members only. And then I'm going to go live, of course. I got to go live at the place I'm going to be at. And so I know something great's about to happen because, getting up early, all praise to the Lord, I know something great's going to happen. Then we're going to see Ringo TV reactions on. So everything happens for a great reason. May with Brother Hill, he's working a lot on the gardening side of things, because he has a lot of, landscaping, great experience. So yeah, when you touch certain things or get on certain things, yeah, he'll be all right. I know he's a warrior. He comes from the city of New York. So yeah. Yep. So let me do this. I want to show you something real quick. Let's get to it. Hold on one second. Let me go to YouTube. I'm going to have to get the premium. I'm just going to get it soon. I want to do this. Let me see. Why Nike sending me information? Nike sending me information about Air Force Ones. That's funny. That's funny. No, seriously, that's funny. Nike sending me like I just got Nikes, and so they promoting me to Air Force Ones now. That's hilarious. Let me show you something real quick. You see, when you come around and do foolishness, you're gonna be getting arrested. Let me show you this. People just don't know how to behave. People don't know how to behave out here. And then they wonder why they get caught up in Sunshine State. All right, let me show you this real quick. All right, let me show you this content real quick. All right, here we go.
Volusia County Beach Patrol says they have been preparing for the unofficial start of summer for a while now. They expect the beaches to be packed with people and say Memorial Day weekend is an all-hands-on-deck operation. They released this statement saying we're anticipating very large crowds all across the coastline, with core beach areas and off-beach parking lots expected to reach full capacity early each day.
So they are preparing at that time for the people to come down here and also other activities. So they do have ballet at certain locations, certain points of the beaches here in Florida. All right, let's continue.
Also new at 5, a brawl on the beach sends one man to jail. That man is accused of driving drunk, doing donuts in the sand, and nearly hitting people. That's when another...
You see? You see? You see the ninjas? You see the ninjas acting up and they even have a good time.
Of driving drunk, doing donuts in the sand, and nearly hitting people. That's when another man stepped in to stop him. And Fox 35's Chancellor Wynn is live in Daytona Beach. So, Chancellor, the fight here was all caught on camera.
Yeah, John.
Daytona Beach. Daytona Beach.
According to the arrest report, the victim's daughter filmed the entire fight. Now, that was after the man was allegedly driving recklessly on the beach. And when he was confronted, things took a violent turn. A brawl on the beach.
Get your ass over here. Come here.
When a stranger tries to stop a man allegedly driving recklessly on the sand. Deputies say Kelvin Kelly nearly hit several beachgoers along Daytona Beach.
So you can't even have a good time at the beach because of this savage driving along the beach. Crazy, man.
He come down the road and he obviously was swerving and almost hit a bunch of people down here.
And when another beachgoer tried to stop him, deputies say Kelly got out of his truck, ran at the beachgoer, and the two got into a fight. An arrest report claims the victim's daughter caught the incident on camera. Deputies pulled Kelly off the victim and cuffed him.
I have no reason to be a case, bro. I've done my time, bro.
In the body camera video, you see a deputy trying to get Kelly into his truck.
I'm gonna talk with the door open just like I said, but I need your butt to see. Next, you gonna send me to jail? Yes, this is gonna happen.
But the deputy says Kelly refused to cooperate.
I need an understanding, bro. I need a understanding.
The guy is not even there, y'all. The guy's not even there. It's something in that situation.
Eventually, he convinces Kelly to get into the truck if he can vape.
Did I do it right? Think I always. I'm gonna give you one more and then we're gonna go hospital.
As you saw, Kelly was arrested. He's facing charges of disorderly conduct and resisting an officer. Reporting live in Daytona Beach, Chancellor Wynn, Fox 35 News.
Ain't that something, Marilyn? He coming down here to the state of Florida, swerving, acting a fool, overly drinking, overly aggressive, attacking people into person got in the midst of making sure everybody else is good, and his daughter happened to catch the footage. And of course, it went viral, and they found the people they needed to find and find out what's going on. All right, let me stop sharing. Let's get to some other news. Let's get into some economic news. All right, hold on one second. Because now this is the time of year when you start seeing a lot of people from different areas, different environments come down here. And so I want to see what they're going to say about it. And I'm going to give you my analysis of what's going to happen. Because since Florida's the #1 economic place, everybody will have to pay attention to this. All right? I want to see what they're going to say. Hold on one second. I didn't get it set up correctly. Let me do it correctly. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. All right, now I'm set up. All right, here we go. Let's see what they say.
We're back now with a look at the drop in the number of international tourists who are visiting the United States this year.
So a research note from Tourism Economics, which is part of Oxford Economics, says international arrivals to the U.S. are expected to fall about 9% this year. That drop is fueled by negative perceptions about recent changes to immigration policies here in.
So international arrivals is dropped 9% from last year. It's a huge drop. All right, let's continue.
America, pushing many tourists to look elsewhere. Add it all up, spending from foreign tourists expected to fall $8.5 billion this.
So they're saying that it's an expectation of spending from foreign visitors, $8.5 billion drop from last year, or for the entirety of this spring/summer.
This year compared to last year.
For more on this and Might Matters, let's bring in Katie Nastro. She's the spokesperson for Going. Katie, good morning. So immigration reform, as Joe just mentioned, part of the issue, but what else is behind the drop in international tourists coming here to the U.S.?
Yeah, look, Savannah, there isn't one singular reason why we're seeing a decrease in international inbound tourism, but rather a combination of factors, such as strained international relations due to tariffs, leaving people feeling unsure about the broader global economy moving forward, worrying perceptions based on reports of detentions at U.S. borders, a stronger dollar in recent years compared to specific economies.
Reasons for decline, it says immigration policies, tariffs and trade barriers, strong dollar, economic uncertainty. So they got people in the doom and gloom in these other countries right now. People are in fear of doing what they're supposed to do. If you're moving correctly, I don't see an issue if you're traveling anywhere in the world. You should be able to travel anywhere in the world if you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're moving correctly. Anyway, let's go.
As well as, some general negative sentiment, specifically looking at places like Canada after some of the recent administration's remarks earlier in the year. You mix that all up, and it really is a recipe for less international travelers from key markets that we're seeing.
So tell us more about why this matters. I mean, we threw out that $8.5 billion. That could be the money lost in tourism dollars this year. I mean, how big of an impact would that have on the American economy?
Yeah, look, Joe, the U.S. Travel Association projections are stating that if this trend continues, we could see travel-related revenue down or cost us $21 billion. However, there is an asterisk there. If this trend continues, we still have another half of the year to get through, as well as two of our very busy seasons when it comes to travel. You have the summer, as well as the winter holidays. As well as you might find that with the dollar starting to weaken against other currencies, we could see people traveling more domestically this year. Preliminary.
Yes, people are traveling more domestically this year, there's a big trend of people traveling inbound than going to other parts of the world. The reason for that is because they're starting to do more research, and there's a lot more to do in America than what people realize. And so I talked about that earlier, just a few minutes ago. So she's adding on to what I'm saying, though. All right, let me rewind that back again. Let's go.
Currencies, we could see people traveling more domestically this year. Preliminary going data is showing, based off of travelers surveyed, that while there is a healthy amount of people that are traveling internationally, there is also an just about equally amount of people traveling domestically. So it could suggest that, people may shift their plans if they haven't booked any travel yet away from international travel and stay locally, and that could help make up that divide. Could help.
It will definitely help. And I know what she's saying. It will definitely help in the South because people may go from Florida to Texas or go to Arizona, may go to OKC, Oklahoma that is, or go to Georgia, which is not even far from here, particularly ATL, or they could go to North Carolina. I just think that people in the South somewhat is traveling up to the northern west region, the Midwest, and the Northeast. Matter of fact, the people from the Northeast, the Midwest, and the Northwest is traveling more to the South than the people in the South traveling up to the North because of various reasons. We don't need to get into it. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting this year with tourism.
Help.
Broader than that, Katie, is there kind of this reciprocal issue at all, this drop in visitors to the United States maybe making it harder or more expensive for Americans who want to travel abroad?
Yeah, Savannah, that's a great question. And look, as we've seen the dollar depreciate in the last few sort of recent weeks and months, this could impact how many people do travel abroad because of the cost, as well as if more international travelers are looking at other areas outside of the U.S., Canadians more so looking at places like Mexico, that could have the impact of if American travelers are also looking at specific destinations that other travelers are also looking at, you could find a premium cost associated with that because it is busier. Europe tends to be one of the busiest regions that we see Americans want to travel to. And if Europeans from select markets are staying local, it could have the impact of not only just being busier in general, but coming again at that cost. Hotels and experiences could potentially.
People are not paying attention to that. That's a good point. She brought out the hotel scenario. Here's the thing though, there's a way to meet your budget of requirement of hotels. You can go to nice hotels for a decent sized price if you just do your homework and your research. A lot of people, they don't do it, wait till the last minute, the last couple of weeks. I mean, you could do it if you got the money still. You want to do things ahead of time and, let it happen on the go. You can do things on the go too, because it tends to work out better when you do things on the go. Anyway, interesting points you brought up with the rooms and stuff.
Rise in costs this year due to the fact there are so many more people.
Katie, thank you very much.
All right. Interesting. Okay. All right, I'm gonna play this video here. I want you to listen to this guy. This is very, very, very important to listen to. Okay. All right, I want you to hear what he has to say. Here we go. All right. Let's get right to it. Okay.
Of migration happening within the United States. And some areas are booming and some areas are losing out.
The California exodus continues.
Cities are losing population.
As
43% of U.S. cities is shrinking. I'm just showing you what it says here. 43% of U.S. cities are losing populations. Anton, this is part of your coordination. Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas, and Missouri. Here we go.
Americans are moving en masse to the south.
Uh-oh. 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 There it is.
You may have moved within your city or to a different city. You probably noticed some of your neighbors moving out or maybe moving in. And those shifts have really reverberated throughout the entire US economy in ways that are radically reshaping the geography of US jobs and the geography of US growth.
He's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. Let's go.
So first we're going to talk about where, then we're going to talk about when. Why? Yeah. So first we're going to talk about where, then we're going to talk about why. Some of the biggest beneficiaries.
Ooh, my goodness. Ooh, man. This is 2019 statistics. Oh, man, 16+%. And that's Florida. 12 to 16% is Texas. There's an uptick in Arizona. Anyway, let's go.
Of the post-pandemic economy have been states in the American South. And the two biggest examples of that are Texas and Florida. Florida actually has the fastest GDP growth of any state in the union since the start of COVID. More than a
20.9% growth. Ooh, man, this is serious.
20% increase. Texas is not far behind. They've had a GDP increase of more than 14% since the start.
That's a huge percent for two states of growth. That's huge. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people, y'all. Let's continue.
Start of COVID. Both those states have seen jobs increase by 9% overall.
That's good. That's good and great. Great. That's great and good. That's a lot of opportunities for people, man. A lot of availability. And they still looking for people availability. They keep on having opportunities for people to start somewhere to get to their real goal. Let's go.
On their own, those states are the size of mid-sized European economies.
Do you hear what he said? Okay, so this is a 2023 comparison, GDP. That number should be up even more now. We'll find out soon. Of course, later on, sometime next year or so, they'll have the comparison. So 2.56 trillion Texas in 2023. That's a lot of money. Okay, so Italy, 2.25 trillion. Okay. Florida, 1.58 trillion. And that's compared to Spain, 1.58 trillion. So, to people saying that most of these countries ain't doing well, according to the GDP, they're doing very well. It's just that certain people have a lot of say, of course, we know that.
and they're growing as fast as rapidly industrializing nations. For example, Texas' economy grew 5.6% through 2023. That's faster than even China, which only...
That's faster than even China. The whole population of China, of its temerity. Texas is doing greater than China. Do you see that?
It grew at 5.2% by comparison. That's a lot for states as big as Florida and Texas. States in the Rocky Mountains have also seen really rapid growth. That includes places like Idaho, Utah, Arizona,
and Oklahoma. Oh, I don't think that's Oklahoma.
Colorado, which have seen extremely fast GDP growth and rapid job gain as remote work enables people to move to those states. On the Pacific Coast, California has had very fast GDP growth, faster than the nation as a whole. Even though the tech boom throughout the pandemic has really helped the state, it's lagged behind in terms of job growth. Washington State has also seen really rapid GDP growth, thanks in large part to the tech boom, but with a bit of stronger job growth than California.
So people still preferably are going to these places, to the Northwest region. It's just that it's not bringing that much revenue in for the most part. It's bringing people to these places. It's just that the revenue is not growing.
And Oregon lags a little bit behind both. The Northeast and Midwest, by contrast, have been falling behind a bit. Illinois and New York in particular have only barely recovered the jobs that they lost during COVID.
Barely ain't a word for these two places.
And have had pretty weak GDP growth. There are some bright spots. Indiana's GDP has grown by more than 8% since the start of the pandemic.
There are people moving to Indiana and Maine.
Maine's has grown by more than 11%, but the region as a whole is struggling a bit.
Yep.
I'm trying to think, is there a big state that I didn't mention? Not really. Ohio people will be mad at me, but that's fine.
He said Ohio people will be upset with him. They'll be all right. Let's go.
So what's driving these shifts in economic geography? The big obvious one is remote work. Some of the biggest losers have been dense, urbanized, unaffordable areas, and some of the biggest winners have been less dense, suburban, more affordable areas.
Yeah, absolutely.
People, when given the flexibility to telework, pick places that are more spacious suburban states than they did before the pandemic.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
That includes places like Utah and Arizona, but also places like Maine. But keep in mind, affordability isn't set in a vacuum. Another big shift caused by the pandemic was migration to states that allow more housing construction than others.
Man, Texas, man, they got all big homes, man. It's amazing, man. It's gonna cost, of course. Here we go.
Housing construction is a big part of the reason why states like Florida and Texas are booming, and states like New York and California are struggling. Florida and Texas build tens of thousands more units a year than either New York or California. There's some.
That's true. That's true. Man, this is serious.
The fastest builders, even on a per capita basis, in the nation. Another important part of this is the dissolution, or at least the weakening, of a lot of economic clusters that dominated pre-pandemic America. For example, before the pandemic, about 19% of all tech jobs were located in California. And
That's true. That's true. At that time, before the shutdown.
As soon as the pandemic hit, the share started dropping, and it started dropping really rapidly.
All right, here we go.
And for some specific industries like software publishing, it's near some of the lowest levels on record. Other industries are also spreading out from their historical hubs.
There it is. Wall Street is going south and taking $1 trillion in assets with it. Ooh, man. Ladies as well. Wow. Well, I'm telling you, there are openings available in the South. It's just that you got to come correctly. You can't be in sin. You can't be in sin. You can't be in sin down here.
Think finance from New York or movies from Los Angeles.
Hollywood's exodus. Man, the exodus is getting serious.
But let's zoom in on tech in California and in the Bay Area in particular. In early COVID, when the tech industry was booming, it didn't matter so much that California was losing ground to other states. The Bay Area had some of the fastest GDP growth in the nation and high.
It did. San Jose, San Fran, they got a lot of important people up there in the Bay. And gradually, a lot of those people moved to Arizona, Vegas, Nevada, of course, and Utah. And also, believe it or not, Oklahoma.
Hiring was still really rapid. But when the tech industry slowed down as interest rates rose and the tech recession began, it meant California went from a smaller slice of a growing pie to losing outright.
Wow.
And the loss of tech jobs has cost California and the Bay Area a lot. The state depends on IPOs and tech pay for a lot of income tax revenue.
You should have respect for those who's still there, that's making good money. There's a lot of people in California that's making good money, that's keeping the state afloat to an extent. The issue is you're not taking care of the actual issue of the people in that particular state. Or New York, the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So people with serious money is leaving. And that creates opportunities for people in the South. You know what I'm saying? And so you're not respecting the taxpayers of the people that's making high end and millionaires. You're not respecting them. And so they're making adjustments and adapting. And so that creates less opportunities for people in that state, if that makes sense. Let's go. Let's continue.
Revenue. And localities are really dependent on office space and other commercial districts for local sales tax and property tax revenue.
That's very serious. San Francisco's losing billions a year in local spending to remote working. The people don't even want to come back.
That's drying up as more tech workers are leaving the Bay Area. And the big destination has been Texas, followed by New York, Florida, and Washington State. All states.
So they moving to Texas, they're going to New York, Florida, and Seattle. They'd rather go up to the Liberace, Seattle, Washington, than to stay in the lovely scene of California. That's crazy. All right, let's continue.
States that have tech hubs of their own, like Austin, like Seattle, like New York, but have had more affordable housing and build more than San Francisco itself. San Francisco has one of the lowest construction rates in the country and is thus one of the most unaffordable cities on the planet.
Unaffordable city in the planet. He ain't lying about that. The Bay is more highly sufficient than it will be in most other cities.
But despite losing ground to other states, California still has a really big advantage at the very top end of the tech industry. The best jobs, the best companies are still in Silicon Valley. California's problem isn't that it's economically unsuccessful, it's that it fails to include everyone in its economic success. the states become so unaffordable that people have to leave for more accessible, less expensive locations. States like California and New York are going to have to reform a lot of their policies around housing construction and transportation if they want to.
He's not lying about this. I'm going to rewind back a little bit what he's saying. Listen to what he says. Listen.
Expensive locations. States like California and New York are going to have to reform a lot of their policies around housing construction and transportation if they want to compete in this new economy. And if they don't, the outmigration to states like Texas and Florida is only going to continue.
You heard it. You heard it. There it is. There it is. And so I'm going to leave y'all with this before I get on out of here. You have to adapt. You have to adjust. The man said it. And a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of opportunities in these two particular states and other states in the South region too, if you look and do your homework and research. California and New York had its time, and it's not adapting, it's not adjusting, it's not making things available to the people. They're allowing other entities and deities dictate the city and the state, and people with common sense are leaving. So tell me what you think about this content in the comment section. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show. Let's see how many likes we got for this show. Of course, I'm going to keep the show up because I know a lot of people are going to want to tune in to hear this. Let's get the results right now. For now, we have 4 people liking the video. Make sure we get another like. Yeah, they are open available. There are openings available. And just don't come down here with the nonsense because you'll be in the county jail. You may do time or you get citations and you may get a warning. The point is that you don't want to even give these people an opportunity to deal with you because they don't play that down here. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate it, Mrs. Marilyn Edwards, Mr. Marilyn Edwards. Glad you're okay. Continuing the growth of greatness between y'all. To all the married couples, shout out to y'all. Zaz and his wife, Ringo and his wife, Brainwaves and his wife, and Ella Caradasar and his wife, or wives, Mr. Rufus and his wives. And so everybody that tunes into my show, that's not married. Appreciate your support. The Zandrias, Marissa Eldridge is married, of course, and her husband, and Trina got her man and all that. So shout out to everybody that's, in a relationship, and those who's not in a relationship, shout out to you too, for the support. VI, Cash App, VI, Venmo, VI, Super Chat, or Super Thanks. So I'll catch y'all on the next one. I see y'all over by Ringo, and I got a lot of footage I gotta, edit and stuff like that, because today is going to be a day of entrance. So let me get my stuff ready. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I will be doing upload videos, so be on the lookout for that. Pre-recorded videos. So, all right. I'll holler at y'all soon. Peace.